Day one of Adrian Gonzales trial ended on Tuesday, and boy did it end in a cliffhanger. It's a great day for a great day. My name is Sydney Rushing. I'm a criminal defense attorney in the state of Michigan. Now let's talk about it. I've already previously discussed the opening statements in another video, and in this one we are only going to talk about the first three witnesses because the fourth witness, she needs a video all to herself. Witness number one was Gilbert Limones. Now he is a pastor and he is a part-time worker at the funeral home. He walked outside. He was approaching the vehicle because he wanted to help the person who had gotten in an accident. He called 911. And as he was approaching, he heard someone yell, "He has a pew-pew." And he didn't exactly hear that or see it at first. So then he came face to face with the monster and he saw him pull out something that he said looked like a black post or a fence post, but it was a pew-pew, and he started discharging it towards him. So he turned around, ran back, and called 911 and told him that he was firing shots. He recalled the monster discharging towards the children's playground. And then he also recalled seeing a white car enter the teacher's parking location a few moments later. He saw the monster walking by the windows and discharging towards them. And then he also saw him go in the door. He called his mom and asked her to pray for the children. Then his 911 calls were played for the jury. And then we also saw surveillance footage from the funeral home, which saw the accident happen and them go outside and then turning out and running back. On the surveillance at 11:31:26 is when the white car became visible in the parking lot. At 11:32:23 is when two marked police cars became visible. There's a secondary surveillance video showed, which kind of showed it from a different angle. Before cross could begin, the judge released the jury for a lunch break. Cross-examination, Limones said that he told an officer which door the monster walked into, but that officer didn't enter the school through that door. He also confirmed that he never talked to Officer Gonzales, and then he was released because there was no redirect. Witness number two, Jason Shea, was then called to the stand. He's a cold case investigator with the Texas Rangers. They introduced pictures of the scene through this person, and they showed the monster's truck, weapons inside, magazine, and metal tube projectiles. You obviously know what I'm talking about. On cross, everyone was taken aback by the attorney's accent, especially the witness, and they talked about his training and tactics that he had learned in Ranger School. Talked how they had prepared many reports prior to this. He did not review them like today before his testimony, but he did review his reports prior to trial. The defense used this witness to kind of educate the jury. They talked about what a metal tube projectile looks like, how it functions, and all of that. They had a huge diagram of that. They also talked about the difference between handheld and long pew-pews. They did a really good job of using this witness to try and explain these things to the jury and how, the long one is more precise than the short one and things of that. I'm trying to be very careful about the words I'm using. Then witness number three, Captain Justin Duck, was called to the stand. He is with the Texas Department of Public Safety. He went to the scene because he was kind of in charge of going and processing the scene, meaning he's going and he's looking for things. He said that there was some difficulty with this because there was flooding, but what they did is they put on some rubber boots so that way they could go in and recover some of the items. They recovered a duffel bag that had a pew-pew in it, and they also found 4 spent shell casings. They also introduced some of these photos of these things, including a picture of the truck and the drainage tube that did have water in it. On cross-examination, he said that he did not get this assignment from Lieutenant Shea. He explains that he was assigned to this to process the scene, and then they had him explain to the jury what that means. Collecting evidence such as the shell casing, swabbing for DNA, things like that. Then there was a break for the jurors before witness number 4, who kind of went in this entire case. So I'm going to actually do a separate video on that because it's probably going to take way too much time to make this video too long. So make sure you come back for that video. Thank you for being here. Thank you for following along. And here's the question of the day. What are you thinking so far with these witnesses? Let me know in the comments.